Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for being here. Now, if this is your very first time here, my name's FiddlinJonny and it's my fiddle channel and magic product review. Now, before I do any magic product review, I always usually do a quick fiddle tune, but today I'm just lazy. I don't want to do a fiddle tune. I just want to get right into your magic product review. So let's do that. If you want future fiddle music in the intro, put it down in the comments. I'm going to review today Wild Chips by Joel Anthony. I want folks to stick around for this one because I think some people are really going to like this and be interested in it. So stick around. I'll give you my thoughts. Let's get right into it. Hello everyone. Hey, thanks so much for being here. I hope everyone had a great holiday season. However you celebrate the holidays or don't celebrate the holidays, I hope it was a great season for you. Welcome to 2026. I'm excited. It's going to be a year I anticipate of a lot of great new magic products being released, and I intend to be here and review as many of them for you as possible. And just thanks for being here. I appreciate it. With that, if you can hit the like button now, that would be great too. But that's so self-indulgent, seems kind of wrong. But nevertheless, you know that it helps my complexion if you hit that like button. Let's talk about Wild Chips by Joel Anthony. Complexion, I'm not sure where that even came from. But anyway, let's talk about Wild Chips from Joel Anthony. Now, Joel Anthony, let me say, boy, you guys keep an eye out for some of the stuff he's releasing. Super creative, taking some of, I think, classic inspiration, updating and repackaging it for himself and for those of us in the magic community, and really worth taking a look at. So, what is Wild Chips? This is challenging for me because it's more than just one thing. There are 3 different routines that are taught on this. I'll start off with the first one, and then we'll sort of go from there. But it's not really limited to this. They essentially start off by showing 4 blank poker chips, as well as 2 printed poker chips. One of the printed ones is a 50 value, and the other is a 100 value. I'll show you those in a little while so you see what they look like. But essentially, you show the 4 blank poker chips. You're able to show them on both sides, completely blank. And that one by one, you're able to very visually and very quickly have them become printed so that they are the 50 value poker chip. It's nice because it happens fast. It happens in front of them. If they miss it the first time, it doesn't matter because you're going to do it again, and you'll go through 4 of these. However, as a good twist on one of them, it is presented as like getting greedy. Instead, you thought, why don't I try it with 100 instead? And when you do the process for turning it to 100, it's kind of mismatched because the edges are the 50 value and the center printed part is the 100 value, which is obvious that it's a fake if you're sitting at a gambling table, and therefore you need to retreat a bit by having them all become blank again, and then you very quickly are able to make them all blank chips again. That's in essence the main routine, or the one that you see in the trailer. The 2 additional ones that are taught are equal to, or maybe even for some of you, better, or might like them even better, but I think that's probably sort of the original one that's on there. And you might recognize elements of it because it's very clear that Joel talks about this, his influence from the work of Daryl, and Daryl's work on the Presto Printo specifically inspired this. So if you know Presto Printo, and you see the inspiration from that, you've nailed it 100%. Let's talk about what are you going to get. So in this kind of cute little container, you're going to get a couple things. First of all, you're going to get this awesome looking green little faux leather pouch carrying case for your poker chips. Inside here, hopefully you can hear that. Those are the poker chips. I want you to hear them because those are real poker chips. Sound like real poker chips. On top of the 10 poker chips, you are also going to get a 38-minute video tutorial hosted on Vimeo. All right, that's what you get. That's sort of what's in the box. Let's talk about how are the instructions. I'm not going to waste your time with a lot of it because they're great. They're fine. But I will talk about, and it's taught by Joel Anthony, the creator of the routines. Let me go through the 3 routines that are taught. So I already talked about the first one. It's basically the printing routine. The second routine is called Chase the Copper. And this is the classic Magician in Trouble plot. And if you like the Magician in Trouble plot, boom, here's one for you. And it's sort of a jazz and a riff on copper and silver routine where you keep putting the copper into your pocket and yet it still comes back into your hand from which you took it. So it's a variation on that sort of a presentation. And essentially what you're doing is you're taking, I can sort of show you here. You're taking, hopefully you can see that, you're going to take one of the printed poker chips, put it between 2 of the unprinted poker chips, and with a little shake, or maybe you do it with 4, so I can't quite remember now. One of them, sorry, it's with 3, and it travels over to this hand. But the goal was to put the printed one to be the one that goes across. It doesn't. Only the unprinted one goes. So you try it again and you do a variation of it, and now the other unprinted chip travels. So now you have 2 of them in this hand and only 1 here, and you can't seem to get the one that you wanted to travel across. And ultimately you can go ahead and make them all printed or unprinted in the end, which shows that you sort of end with this idea of like none of them are printed, and that's why you couldn't get it to go across, because you're able to banish essentially the printing on the poker chip. And the third routine is printing 3-fly. And again, another one highly inspired by Daryl's 3-fly working. If you're not familiar with 3-fly, I assume most of you are, but basically you have 3 coins and they essentially are able to travel across from one hand to the other quite visually in front of your spectator. It's done with the poker chips. If you have never done a 3-fly and you want to learn a 3-fly, boom, right here. This is the place to do it with these chips. One, that feel great. They are easy to manipulate and to move. They fit nicely in your hands, I think, from a size perspective. And you'll learn the 3-fly. And you'll learn Joel's take on his printing 3-fly routine. So, the one thing in terms of, I don't think I mentioned on this, is that in this 3-fly, they start off being blank and you end fully printed. So that's the variation on it. And I suppose you could probably do it either way, fully printed and go to blank, etc., etc. So there's variation on this. I love for me, I immediately went into like, how do you jazz with some of these type of things. So once you learn the routines, you get good at it, then start playing around with your own variations and start jazzing with them. But that's the third routine on there. I think for some folks, that alone is going to be worth the price of admission. So normally I would say like, hey, how's the gimmick here? It's not really a gimmick. These are specially printed poker chips. So there's nothing in them that moves. There's nothing in them that can break. They are just poker chips. And I'm going to bring them up here so that you can see them. All right, here is a stack of 10 poker chips. Now I'm not going to go through every single one of them because I don't want to reveal some of the method, but I will show you up close here. You're going to get at least 4 of these poker chips, which are completely blank, not printed. Those will allow you to be able to start clean and end clean. Next, I want to point out you are going to get chips that are at the 50 value level. Say Premium Crest Casino, Platinum Crest Casino 50. I like that the 50 doesn't denote like, is it pounds, dollars, or whatever. So whichever country you're in, and using this form of money or value can work. So that's what the printed ones look like. Sorry, out of focus now. And here is your 100 value chip. Looks nice. Not a whole lot more to say. Another 51, fully printed. And then this is the misprint one, which is used in one of the routines. Very clever and very funny, and is a nice addition to this group of chips. All right, so you've seen the chips. I don't know that I have a whole lot more to say other than they're real poker chips. So, and they are examinable if you want them to be examinable. You can end clean if you want to, or you can clean and dirty depending on the routine. You can start clean as well. I think on the very first routine, for me personally, the basic one, I will start completely clean with them being completely examinable, do a ditch, and then work with my specially printed ones. And I would anticipate at the end I won't have any heat because I showed them freely in the beginning where they were examinable. So, and those are some sort of personal decisions you can sort of make whether you want to end clean or not. So I think if you just perform well, that most of the time people do not become suspicious of your props and they're not like asking for them because you performed it in a way that like it doesn't occur to them to think like, oh, I need to look at those chips. Okay, let's talk about what is the skill level. And here's where some nuance comes in. This is clearly beginner, all right? This is beginner level magic with a professional level routines. And what I mean by that is any working professional, this is great for a worker. I think the routines that are on here are just awesome for any working professional. And they are equally good for the beginner or the hobbyist. If this is the first trick that you're purchasing, I believe you can, you know, after a little bit of practice, go out and perform this and perform it quite well. Because there's no difficult sleights, just a couple of moves, all well within the range of somebody who is new in magic. But they are, what I would say, are foundational. So if you're newer on the spectrum of doing magic, you're getting foundational sort of moves and understanding of magic here. So it's good on that level. And I think for the working professional, they already understand that, but can see the power in the presentation with these chips and what they allow you to do. So it's kind of like give it a real ringing endorsement here. I think some folks are really going to like it, but my opinion is that like these are great for every skill level and equally good for the worker. So normally I would talk next about what are the pros and the cons. When I think about pros and cons, what I'm really thinking about is what do I wish I had known before purchasing these? Or if I was you on the other side, what would be some of the questions that I would talk about? And I think for me, there's no negatives. It does exactly what it says. You get a good product that's durable and should probably last you a lifetime. They're all workers. It really comes down to, is this fit your style of magic, fit your style of performance for what you want to do or what you want to learn? So it ticks off a whole bunch of boxes for me. I think this is great in a close-up setting. For me, working with these poker chips, my ideal setting is sitting at a table with people gathered around, so it can be a close-up type of a thing, but I can have a fair amount of people around me, and working on my mat, I can go ahead and work from the table. The three fly, I don't believe you actually need the table. I sort of like the table in front of me for these routines. So for me, that's sort of like an ideal environment for it, and something in terms of depending on what kind of magic you do, whether that's helpful for you or not. There's no real angle issues with these as well. So that's it. When I think about who's going to like this, I think folks who like coin magic are going to like it. If you like good visual, strong visual magic, you'll like it. And for folks who are looking for like foundations and fundamentals, you'll like it as well. I think for me too, the place this works is I occasionally get hired to do like fundraising events where it's casino night and they're coming in and they're playing poker and sort of stuff, and they ask me to do a demonstration. This is a perfect effect for me in that type of a working scenario on poker night. But let's say you play poker with your buddies. Well, great to show your buddies some magic that you can do right there at the poker table one evening. So I think it's very versatile in that respect. What does it cost? It cost $60 US. And I think for any of you out there in terms of value, it's sort of up to you in terms of what your budget is. Does it fit into your budget? If you're a working professional, a single gig, and it's paid for itself. If you're a hobbyist and you like the trailer and the routines, and it's something you want to perform, it's well within reach and worth it from a price point, in my opinion. So, all right, I think that's all the main things from me. I think this is a good, solid release, in all honesty. And I would say keep an eye out for Joel Anthony and the products that he is releasing. He's got some real interesting ones out there. This is available at, all your major magic retailers. So wherever you typically shop for your magic, you should be able to find it at one of those locations, or do a quick online search and you will find places where you can purchase wild chips. All right, that's it. Leave me a comment down below. If you have it, let me know what your thoughts are, things maybe I didn't mention that would be helpful for folks, or if you have a different point of view, share that point of view. It's great to have those. And if you have not yet hit the like button, again, hit the like button, because I think I said it helps with my complexion, and as if I need any help with this. I mean, it's awesome to begin with. But look, a glow up doesn't hurt. Hit that like button and subscribe if you haven't yet subscribed. I don't know what you're waiting for. Hit subscribe, all those notification things, blah, blah, blah. I appreciate everything you do. I just appreciate that you're here and you're watching these, and I genuinely hope that you find them useful. I really appreciate each and every one of you. I hope you're having a great time in magic, and I'm FiddlinJonny, so remember to keep fiddling around with your magic. I'll see you guys all next time. Bye-bye.